Shut up! You're not buying a Mustang! My dad barked after stealing my $50,000 dream car savings. Then pack your bags for court. I snapped while filing for theft. Hey everyone! Before we jump into today's video, I need your help. We've noticed the channel is losing some traction, and subscribing is one of the best ways you can support us. It's quick, free, and it helps us keep bringing you awesome content. Your support means the world. Let's keep this channel growing together. Thanks so much. Now let's start the video. Sup, Reddit. This happened last year. I'd been busting my ass saving for my dream car. Then I found out my parents drained my money for a vacation and an SUV for mom. I lost it, filed for theft, then ruined both their careers. This is what went down. I, 25 male, have been doing solar installations for 4 years straight. Picture me crawling on rooftops in 100-degree heat, dodging power lines, dealing with Karen homeowners who think solar panels run on fairy dust. It's brutal work, but the money's solid. I was pulling $70,000 with overtime, living at home to save every possible dollar for one thing, a 2024 Ford Mustang GT. The work wasn't just hot, it was dangerous as hell. 40-pound panels, steep angles, electrical currents that could fry you if you screwed up. I'd come home with burns from touching metal that had been baking in the sun, cuts from sharp panel edges, and shoulders that felt like I'd been doing CrossFit with Thor's hammer. But every blister was another $20 toward the Mustang. Every time some homeowner complained about panel placement while I'm risking my neck on their roof, I'd picture that 5.0-liter V8 and keep grinding. I'd been obsessing over this machine since high school, had the exact build saved on Ford's website, knew every option by heart. The dealer had one coming in March, and I needed $50,000 cash to make it happen. The specs were burned into my brain. Coyote V8, 6-speed Tremec transmission, Brembo brakes, track-tuned suspension. This wasn't some soccer mom crossover. This was American muscle that could hit 60 in under 4 seconds and sound like controlled thunder doing it. I'd watched every review video, knew the quarter-mile times, understood why Car and Driver called it the best performance bargain in America. For 3.5 years, I lived like a monk. No DoorDash, no Netflix, no bars with the boys. Sold my gaming setup, my dirt bike, anything worth money. Every paycheck got split. $600 for living expenses. Everything else into savings. I was a machine with one goal. The only luxury I kept was Roscoe, my German Shepherd mix. 70 pounds of loyalty and the brains of a golden retriever. At least someone in that house understood dedication. My parents, Howard, 55 male, and Diane, 53 female, knew about the Mustang plan. I'd shown them pictures, explained the timeline, talked about it at family dinners. They'd nod with those fake supportive smiles parents give when they think your dreams are stupid but don't want to say it directly. The account was at Mom's credit union because she convinced me they had better rates. Joint account with both our names for emergencies. Biggest mistake of my life, but I trusted family back then. My sister Megan, 26 female, lives in an overpriced downtown apartment making maybe $28,000 part-time at some boutique. She's the family princess who constantly complains about being broke while posting Instagram stories about her self-care routines. While I'm risking heat stroke on rooftops, she's making passive-aggressive comments about my obsession with material things. February 15th, I knew I was ready. I called the dealer, confirmed the car was available, scheduled pickup for February 22nd. I was practically vibrating with excitement. Even Roscoe could tell something big was happening. He'd been following me around with his tail going like a helicopter. That night, I sat in my truck with Roscoe feeling the victory. 3.5 years of pain, sweat, and sacrifice condensed into 5 digits. That money represented every time I'd chosen ramen over takeout, every weekend I'd worked instead of hanging with friends, every moment I'd resisted spending money on anything fun. Roscoe put his massive head on my shoulder, like he understood this was a big moment. Dogs get it. They know when they're humans about to level up. That Friday night, I walked through the door after a 12-hour shift, covered in sweat and roofing tar. Mom and Dad were in the living room with this weird, smug energy. Megan was there too, lounging on the couch, scrolling her phone with that entitled smirk. I mentioned picking up the Mustang tomorrow, started talking about insurance. That's when Dad looked up with this shit-eating grin. "Oh, you're not getting that car." I stopped mid-sentence. "What?" "We used your savings for our anniversary trip to Hawaii and Mom's new Tahoe." The words hit me like I'd grabbed a live wire. My brain went completely blank for like 3 seconds. Then pure rage kicked in. Before I could process it, Megan chimed in without looking up from her phone. "Thank God. Your whole car obsession was getting super cringe." That's when I lost it. Completely. Like the Hulk, but angrier. Are you fucking kidding me? I was screaming so loud Roscoe started barking. $50,000? My money? Dad actually rolled his eyes. Calm down, Nate. You're being dramatic. Dramatic? You stole my life savings. Mom started screeching about me attacking Dad, but I was beyond hearing anything. Megan jumped up from the couch, getting in my face like she was going to do something. Nate, stop acting like a psycho. It's just money. I shoved her back onto the couch. Not hard enough to hurt her, but hard enough to make my point. Just money? Just money? That was 3.5 years of my life. Dad was trying to get up, holding his back. You live here rent-free. That money technically came from us supporting you. Technically? I paid for that trip with my sweat and my time while you sat on your ass betting on football. Megan was crying now, but still running her mouth. Mom's been wanting that Tahoe forever. At least now someone in this family has taste. Taste? You want to talk about taste? I work 14-hour days in the sun while you sell overpriced jewelry to soccer moms. That's enough. This is our house, Dad barked. Built with my money. Every utility bill, every grocery run, every piece of furniture you bought this year came from what I contributed. I was seeing red. Literally. Everything looked like it had this red filter over it, and my hands were shaking from pure adrenaline. I grabbed Dad's stupid golf trophy from the mantel and spiked it on the floor like a football. Nate, stop! Mom was full hysterical now. You're scaring me. Good. You should be scared. You just stole enough money to change my entire life. Megan tried getting between us again. It's a car, Nate. A stupid, overpriced car. You're having a breakdown over material stuff. That's when I completely snapped. Stupid car? That car represented everything I've worked for. Every blister on my hands, every sunburn, every missed night out with friends. Mom was on the phone, probably calling the cops or my aunt. I grabbed my work boots from by the door and fired one at the family photo on the wall. Glass shattered, frame hanging crooked. 3.5 years! I was screaming so loud my voice cracked. 3.5 years of living like I was broke so you could take vacations. Megan was sobbing in the corner. Nate, please stop. You're acting insane. Insane. I'm acting insane? You people just admitted to grand theft and I'm the problem? I kicked over Mom's plant stand. Dirt and pottery exploded across the hardwood. Roscoe was hiding behind the recliner now, ears flat against his head. Dad tried the calm voice approach. Son, if you just let us explain... Explain what? How you spent my dreams on massages and charter boats? How you bought a luxury SUV with money I earned installing panels in 100-degree heat? I was breathing like I'd just run a marathon. That's when I heard a car door slam outside. Through the chaos, I saw headlights in the driveway. Great. Reinforcements. The front door opened and in walked my Aunt Patricia, Mom's older sister who drives a minivan with 17 bumper stickers about being a wine mom and protecting her precious angels. This woman once called the cops on neighborhood kids for playing basketball too loudly. Nate Alexander Martinez. What in God's name is wrong with you? Your mother called me crying, saying you were having some kind of breakdown. They stole $50,000 from me, Aunt. She literally scoffed. Like, made that dismissive sound that middle-aged women perfect after years of talking to customer service managers. Stole. That's not theft. That's family financial management. It wasn't their money. I earned every dollar. While living under their roof, eating their food, using their electricity. She was getting louder, matching my energy. Do you have any idea how entitled you sound right now? Dad was nodding along like Patricia was speaking gospel truth. Mom was still sniffling but looking relieved that someone was taking their side. Entitled? For wanting my own money back? Patricia turned to face me fully, hands on her hips in that classic Karen power stance. Your parents sacrificed everything to raise you. They could have charged you rent this whole time, but didn't. They could have kicked you out at 18, but didn't. And this is how you repay them? By working 60-hour weeks and saving every penny? By attacking your father? By destroying their home? By acting like a spoiled brat because you can't get your precious toy? The way she said toy with that condescending tone made my vision go red again. I could feel my fists clenching. That's when I knew there was no point continuing this conversation. These people lived in a completely different reality where stealing was family financial management, and victims were entitled for being upset. I looked at Roscoe hiding behind the chair, grabbed my keys, and headed for the door. Where are you going? Mom called out. Anywhere but here. Patricia had one last shot. Running away won't solve anything, Nate. You need to face what you've done and make it right. I turned around at the door. You're absolutely right. I do need to make this right, just not the way you think. And that's when I decided these people needed to learn a lesson. Before the revenge, you need to understand this wasn't isolated. The Mustang theft was the grand finale of years of them treating me like their personal ATM, while Megan cheered them on and Aunt Patricia provided moral justification. 2 years ago, Megan needed first month's rent and security deposit for her overpriced apartment. She didn't ask. She demanded like I owed her. Nate, I need $2,400 for my place. Mom and Dad said you'd cover it since you're doing so well. When I hesitated, she rolled her eyes. God, you're so cheap. It's not like you spend money on fun anyway. When Dad's truck got repossessed because of his sports betting problem, Megan blamed me for not helping sooner. If you weren't so obsessed with that stupid car fund, maybe Dad wouldn't be in this mess. Family comes first, Nate. Mom's dental work? Another $2,800 from my savings. Megan's reaction. Finally, Mom can stop being self-conscious. Thanks for doing the right thing for once. For once. Like financially supporting my family was rare instead of constant. And every time I expressed frustration, Aunt Patricia would get called in to explain how ungrateful and selfish I was being. She had this whole speech about family loyalty and sacrifice that made me sound like the villain for wanting boundaries. But whenever I mentioned the Mustang, Megan was first to tear it down. It's just a car, Nate. You're acting like it'll solve your problems. Or maybe focus on moving out instead of buying toys. My personal favorite, real men don't need flashy cars to feel important. That night, I called my best friend Ethan, 25 male. Ethan's got this way of cutting through BS that I needed right then. Hold up, he said after I explained everything. Your parents stole your savings and spent it on vacation pics and a gas-guzzling mom mobile? Pretty much. Your sister sounds like she's auditioning for a reality show about entitled brats. Did she at least pretend to feel bad? She called it embarrassing and pathetic, said I was having a midlife crisis. Bro, your parents just declared war on your entire future, and your sister's acting like their cheerleader. Time to respond accordingly. The morning after they confessed to the theft and Patricia's lecture, I went through their social media while Roscoe watched me pace. Hawaii wasn't some modest trip. Luxury resort, first-class flights, couples spa treatments. Dad posted photos deep-sea fishing on a charter boat that probably cost more than most people's rent. Megan's posts were worse. She documented everything like a travel influencer. When your parents surprise you with the vacation of a lifetime, and so grateful for family who know how to live life to the fullest. One showed her getting a massage with the caption, "Sometimes you have to treat yourself to the finer things." My money. They were living it up on my money. The SUV posts were even more obnoxious. Mom posted pictures of her new Tahoe, but Megan shared them with comments like, "Finally, a family member with style." And, "This is what happens when you make smart financial decisions." I screenshot everything and sent it to Ethan. Your sister's social media game is strong, but her self-awareness is non-existent. She's literally flexing with stolen money while calling you financially irresponsible. I took a sick day and drove to the legal aid clinic where I'd done electrical work during my apprenticeship. That's where I met Victor Reynolds, a paralegal who specialized in family financial disputes. Victor listened without interrupting, taking notes. When I finished, he leaned back and whistled. $50,000 for vacation and car purchase without consent. Joint account, though. Does that matter? Not when we can prove you deposited every dollar and they withdrew it for luxury purchases without discussion. That's conversion of funds, legally identical to theft. He explained these cases were becoming common. Adult children getting financially abused by parents who felt entitled to money they didn't earn. The luxury spending made it worse legally. What are my options? Civil suit for recovery plus damages. But here's the interesting part. They own property, right? House worth about $220,000. Dad's truck, mom's new SUV. When you win, and you will, we can pursue asset seizure. Liens on the house, vehicle repossession, frozen accounts. Everything becomes fair game. Victor spent 3 hours documenting everything. Bank statements showing my deposits, pay stubs proving income sources, screenshots of their vacation posts. The real gold was Megan's social media bragging about the stolen money. Your sister's posts are actually helpful evidence. Shows clear knowledge the family was spending unearned money, plus demonstrates financial entitlement patterns. One more thing, he said as I left. Don't warn them. No threats, no demands. Just serve papers and let them scramble. I called Ethan driving home. Asset seizure? You're about to repo your own parents. This is beautiful. Think it's too harsh? Nate, they stole enough to buy a new car and spent it on vacation selfies while your sister called you pathetic, and your aunt lectured you about family values. Harsh would be letting them think they can get away with it. The plan was simple. Move out quietly, cut contact, serve papers demanding full amount plus damages. By the time they realized how serious this was, I'd be untouchable. But I wasn't stopping there. These people had treated me like garbage for years, while Megan acted like their personal hype woman and Patricia provided moral justification. I wanted them to understand real consequences. Moving out without warning was surprisingly easy. Living minimally for the Mustang meant most my stuff fit in my truck. Found a studio apartment across town through Craigslist. Roscoe approved immediately. Ran around the empty space like he'd found paradise. The new place was perfect for my situation. First floor, dedicated parking spot for the future Mustang, and a small fenced area where Roscoe could do his business without me having to face potential family ambushes. The landlord was this older Marine vet who respected the no drama, pay rent on time, mind your business lifestyle. He took one look at Roscoe and said, "Good dog. They're better judges of character than most people." Finally, someone who understood priorities. Monday morning, I loaded everything while they slept, left my key on the kitchen counter with a note. Thanks for the lesson in family values. No explanation, no forwarding address, no dramatic speech. Just gone. The calls started around dinner. 15 missed calls, dozens of texts ranging from confused to angry. I didn't respond to any. Spent the evening setting up my place with Roscoe supervising, mostly by stealing socks and dropping tennis balls on my feet. Megan's texts were particularly entitled, "Where TF are you? Mom's freaking out." Then, "This is so dramatic, Nate. Just come home and stop being a baby about the car thing." Patricia joined the text bombardment by Tuesday. "Nate, your mother is worried sick. Whatever issues you have with your parents can be worked out through mature conversation. Running away solves nothing." Ethan found this hilarious. "Your parents went from 'we spent your money, deal with it' to 'why won't you answer our calls in 6 hours?' Your sister's still calling you dramatic while they committed actual theft." By Wednesday, messages shifted from worry to fury. Dad left a voicemail calling me selfish and ungrateful. Mom sent texts about how I was tearing the family apart over money. Megan's messages were next level. "You're seriously abandoning family over some stupid car? This is pathetic even for you." Later, "Mom's crying because of your tantrum. Grow up, Nate." Patricia's messages got progressively more condescending. "This silent treatment is childish behavior. Your parents made a mistake, but destroying family relationships over money shows poor character." Then, "I'm praying for your heart to soften and your pride to decrease. Family forgiveness is more important than temporary anger." Thursday morning, Victor and I filed at the courthouse. Civil suit for conversion, demanding $50,000 plus $10,000 damages plus legal fees. Papers got served Friday afternoon. I didn't watch, but my neighbor Connor drove by during service. Said he saw a guy in a suit talking to Mom at the door, then her screaming for Dad. The phone explosion started 20 minutes later. 23 missed calls in 2 hours. I turned my phone off and took Roscoe for a long walk. Dogs don't care about family drama. They just want to sniff everything and chase squirrels. Dad's first voicemail. "What the hell is this lawsuit garbage? You're suing your own parents?" Mom's second. "Honey, there's been some terrible misunderstanding. We need to talk about these papers." Megan's third was pure gold. "Are you freaking serious? You're actually suing Mom and Dad? Over money? What is wrong with you?" Patricia left the longest message. "I am appalled. Suing your own parents? Over money they used for legitimate family needs? This is the most selfish, heartless thing I've ever witnessed. Your grandparents would be ashamed. Family doesn't sue family. Period." By Sunday, they'd figured out I wasn't responding. So they started calling extended family, trying to track me down and control the narrative. My cousin Michelle called. "Bro, your mom called crying about some lawsuit. Says you disappeared and are attacking them over money. Your Aunt Patricia's been calling everyone saying you've lost your mind. They stole $50,000, Michelle. Spent it on Hawaii and Mom's SUV." Long pause. "Wait, seriously? 50 grand? Every dollar I saved for 3 years. Took it without asking, then told me to get over it." Patricia showed up and lectured me about being entitled for wanting my own money back. "Holy shit, man, that's theft. Your mom made it sound like you were having a breakdown, and Patricia's been telling everyone you attacked your dad and went crazy." I did lose my temper, but they literally admitted to stealing my life savings like it was no big deal. You know what? Good for you. I always thought they treated you like crap, and Megan's been a spoiled brat forever. Patricia's always been a drama queen anyway. 50,000? Jesus. But the real fun was just starting, because what they didn't know was that I'd researched Dad's workplace policies. And what I'd found was going to make their legal problems look minor. While waiting for their lawyer's response, I decided to explore additional consequences they hadn't considered. Dad worked for a mid-sized construction company doing commercial projects, schools, office buildings, government contracts, the kind that takes employee conduct seriously. I researched their employee handbook online, found gold, a section about financial responsibility and trustworthiness, mentioning how criminal charges or civil judgments could affect employment, especially for employees managing crews and accessing job sites. Dad was a project supervisor. He managed teams, handled expensive equipment, had keys to construction sites. Exactly the position where a theft conviction would be problematic. I called Victor about timing. When does this become public record? Once we file, it's public. When they respond, that's public too. If we win judgment, definitely public. What about criminal charges? You could file police report for grand theft. 50,000 is felony territory in Ohio. That creates separate criminal case with own public records. I thought for exactly 10 seconds. Let's file the police report. Victor raised an eyebrow. That's aggressive. Civil and criminal simultaneously. They deserve everything coming. The police report got filed Monday. Detective Parker took my statement, reviewed Victor's evidence, agreed it was clear theft. Wednesday, there were active criminal charges against both parents. But I wasn't content letting the system handle Dad's career consequences. Time to speed things up. Thursday afternoon, I called Dad's HR department. Professional tone, very concerned citizen. Hi, I think you should know one of your employees, Howard Martinez, has been charged with felony theft. Thought you'd want to know since he's in a position requiring trustworthiness. The rep went quiet. Can you provide details? I gave her case number, court filing info, everything she needed to verify independently. Professional, factual, no personal drama. We appreciate you bringing this to our attention. We'll investigate. 3-minute call. Friday afternoon, Dad was suspended pending investigation. I celebrated by buying Roscoe a new rope toy and hitting the dog park. Megan called from an unknown number, absolutely losing it. Nate, Dad got suspended. They're investigating the criminal charges. He might get fired. Are you happy now? I didn't respond. Her follow-up text, you're destroying our family. Mom's having panic attacks and Dad might lose his job. Hope you're proud. Patricia left her own message. I hope you're satisfied, Nate. Your father's career is in jeopardy because of your vindictive lawsuit. This is what happens when pride and selfishness take over. You're hurting innocent people now. But I wasn't satisfied. Mom's part-time bookkeeping clients probably didn't know they were trusting finances to someone charged with theft. Seemed like relevant information. By week's end, I'd made professional calls to people who might find Mom's criminal charges relevant to business relationships. All factual, all legal. Megan left another voicemail. Now Mom's losing clients too. What's wrong with you? This was about money, not destroying lives. Patricia's follow-up was predictably dramatic. Nate, what you're doing is evil. Pure evil. Destroying your parents' ability to earn a living over money issues. God sees everything, and judgment comes for those who harm family. The house of cards was collapsing, and I was just warming up. 3 weeks into their legal nightmare, Megan decided subtle manipulation wasn't working. Time for direct confrontation. Too bad she picked the worst possible place. I was installing panels on a 2-story office building when my crew leader Marcus climbed up looking annoyed. Nate, there's some crazy woman at the gate screaming about needing to talk to you. Says she's your sister. Security's containing her, but she's making a scene. I could hear her from the roof. Megan was in full dramatic meltdown mode, yelling about family and lawsuits loud enough for half the site to hear. I climbed down to find Megan at the entrance arguing with security guards. She was screaming about being denied access to my brother. She saw me and the waterworks started, like flipping a switch from entitled rage to victim mode. Nate, thank God. These people won't let me see you. I've been trying to reach you for weeks. I know. I've been ignoring you on purpose. Her face shifted back to anger. Drop the charges, Nate. Right now. This has gone too far. Nope. You're destroying our family. Dad might go to jail. Mom's having panic attacks. They made one mistake and you're ruining their lives. By now we had an audience. Security guards, my crew, workers from other parts of the site. Everyone watching Megan's public breakdown while I stood there in work clothes covered in sweat and tar. One mistake? They stole $50,000. It wasn't stealing. You lived there rent-free. That money was mine, every dollar, from my job, that you called pathetic and embarrassing. She started angry crying. I was wrong about the car, okay? I'm sorry. But this isn't about the car anymore. It's about revenge. You're right. It stopped being about the car when you mocked me for having dreams while your parents spent my money on vacation photos. Security stepped forward. Ma'am, you need to leave. This is private property. Megan ignored him. Nate, I'm begging you, as your sister. Please stop this insanity. No, Megan. She was full screaming now. They're going to lose everything. The house, Dad's job, Mom's clients. Is that what you want? That's what they chose when they decided stealing from me was acceptable. This is insane! You're insane! Over a fucking car! Security had heard enough. Ma'am, leave immediately or we're calling police. I'm not leaving until he drops the charges. That's when I pulled out my phone and started recording. Megan, you're trespassing, causing public disturbance, and harassing me at work. Say hi to my lawyer's evidence collection. The recording broke her brain. She lunged for my phone, but security stepped between us. That's it, the older guard said. Calling police. Megan's last play was rallying the crowd of workers. This is my brother. He's suing our parents over money. Can you believe that? Marcus called out from the background. The kind whose family steals 50 grand. Lady, you sound crazy. Other guys laughed and dispersed. Show was over, and Megan wasn't getting support from construction workers who understood exactly what 50,000 meant. Megan started alternating between crying, yelling, and negotiating. I'll pay you back myself. I'll get a loan. Please, Nate, don't let them go to jail. With what money? You make 28 grand part-time. I'll figure it out. Work more hours. Get a second job. Should have thought about that before calling my dreams pathetic. Police sorted it out in 30 seconds. Trespassing, disturbing peace, harassment. Megan got escorted off in a patrol car while screaming about family loyalty. I finished my shift. That evening, Patricia called, absolutely furious. Nate, your sister was arrested today. Arrested because of your selfish vendetta. She was just trying to talk sense into you. She was trespassing and harassing me at work. She was trying to save your family. But you're so consumed with revenge that you'd rather see your own sister in handcuffs than show mercy. I hung up and blocked her number 2. Megan's workplace breakdown was her last direct confrontation attempt. After that, just desperate texts and voicemails. But damage was done. 2 weeks after that, it was radio silence. Their world was collapsing faster than they could manage. Lawsuit proceeding, criminal charges moving forward, employment in jeopardy. Victor called with updates from their lawyer, some divorce attorney way out of his depth with criminal defense. They want to negotiate, offering half the money if you drop civil and criminal charges. Half of my own stolen money? That's what I said. Told him we'd see them in court. But here's the satisfying part. That week, my buddy Connor's girlfriend Ashley dropped intelligence from Mom's credit union. Your parents are completely screwed financially. They don't actually have money to pay you back? Perfect. They'd stolen my money to fund purchases they couldn't afford, facing consequences they couldn't escape. Criminal charges were moving forward regardless. Detective Parker updated me on progress. Prosecutors taking this seriously. 50,000 puts this in felony territory, and your evidence makes it straightforward. They're looking at potential jail time. Professional consequences kept escalating. Dad's suspension became termination after HR investigation. Company couldn't risk keeping someone with pending charges in supervisory roles. Mom lost bookkeeping clients as word spread. Turns out people don't trust someone accused of theft with financial records. Megan moved home because she couldn't afford her apartment without usual family support. 3 adults, no stable income, mounting legal fees, and civil judgment that would take everything. Patricia was apparently rallying the extended family, trying to organize some kind of intervention. My cousin Michelle kept me updated. She's calling everyone, trying to get people to pressure you into dropping charges. Says you've become cold and heartless, that the family needs to band together to save your parents. What's everyone saying? Most people think Patricia's crazy. Once they hear the full story, 50,000 stolen criminal charges, your parents spending it on vacation, they're like, yeah, Nate's got every right to be pissed. Desperation texts started coming more frequently, Megan's tone shifting from angry to panicked. Nate, please. Dad can't find work because of charges. Mom's lost almost all clients. We might lose the house. Then, I know you're mad about the car thing, but this is too far. We're family. You're supposed to protect family, not destroy them. Finally, I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry I called your car obsession stupid. I didn't think you'd go nuclear. Please just talk to us. Patricia tried a different approach. Nate, I've been praying about this situation, and God has put it on my heart to reach out. What your parents did was wrong, but what you're doing is worse. Vengeance belongs to the Lord, not to us. Please find it in your heart to show mercy. Mom. Nate, we made a terrible mistake. Any way we can work this out before it destroys our family? But I wasn't interested in negotiation. These people had stolen my dreams. They were about to learn mercy is earned, not demanded. 8 months later, the final pieces fell into place like dominoes. Criminal case resolved with both parents pleading guilty to theft charges. Dad got 18 months probation and 200 hours community service. Mom got 12 months probation. Both have felony convictions now. Civil judgment came through for the full amount, $50,000 stolen funds plus $15,000 damages and legal fees. Since they couldn't pay, court authorized asset seizure. House went into foreclosure. Mom's beloved Tahoe got repossessed. Same SUV Megan bragged about on social media. Dad's truck disappeared when repo company tracked it down. Everything they'd bought with my money or owned beforehand became fair game. Professional destruction was even more satisfying. Dad's felony conviction made him unemployable in construction. Who's hiring a project supervisor with theft record? Mom's bookkeeping career ended. Financial crimes and money management don't mix. Megan moved 3 states away for customer service work she hates, barely covering rent in a studio. The girl who bragged about downtown lifestyle was now paycheck to paycheck in a different city, cut off from family financial support she'd taken for granted. Patricia's social media went quiet after her church friends started asking uncomfortable questions about the family she'd been defending. Turns out even church ladies draw the line at supporting grand theft when the details come out. She sends occasional updates about their struggles, but the tone's completely different. No attitude, no entitlement. Just desperate updates hoping I'll feel sorry. Patricia's last attempt at contact was a rambling voicemail about forgiveness and healing, but even she seemed to understand the ship had sailed. Family house sold at auction. I didn't bid, but drove by moving day with Roscoe. Watching them load remaining possessions into a U-Haul was surprisingly satisfying. Megan was there crying as she loaded boxes. Everything they'd stolen had cost them everything they owned. But here's the best part. I still got my Mustang. Insurance settlement from their conviction, plus civil judgment recovery, plus money I'd saved since was enough for the exact car I wanted. 2024 Mustang GT, grabber blue with black racing stripes, manual transmission, performance package. Walking into that Ford dealership with a cashier's check for the full amount was one of the best moments of my life. The sales guy couldn't believe someone my age was buying a $50,000 car with cash. I told him I'd been saving for 4 years and earned every penny. When he fired up that Coyote V8 for the first test drive, the sound was everything I'd imagined. 480 horses of pure American fury, waiting for me to unleash them. Roscoe was in the passenger seat for that first drive, ears flapping in the wind, both of us finally getting what we deserved. I posted exactly one social media photo, me leaning against the Mustang with Roscoe beside it, both looking like we owned the world. Caption: dreams delayed, not denied. Thanks for the motivation. Comments were hilarious. Friends congratulating me, co-workers asking about the car, family members who knew the backstory making supportive comments about perseverance paying off. Megan actually liked the post. No comment, just a like. Guess even she couldn't deny the car looked exactly as good as I'd always said. 3 months later, Dad called from an unknown number. I answered out of curiosity. Nate, I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but we're really struggling. Your mom's working grocery store? I'm doing day labor when I can find it. We're in a 1-bedroom apartment barely making rent. Megan had to move away and can't help financially. I let him finish his sob story. I was sitting in my Mustang with Roscoe in passenger seat, both just listening. I'm truly sorry for what we did. We made a terrible mistake and paid for it. Any way you could find it in your heart to help us get back on our feet? Dad, you had $50,000 of my dollars to help get back on your feet. You spent it on vacation and luxury SUV. Those were your choices. But we're family. Family doesn't steal from each other, then mock the victim for having dreams. You, Megan, and Patricia taught me that actions have consequences. Consider this your education in that principle. I hung up and blocked the number. 1 year later, I'm still driving my dream car and living my best life. They're still dealing with consequences of their choices. The Mustang drives like a dream, by the way. 480 horsepower of pure satisfaction, paid for with money they couldn't steal because they'd already lost everything trying to steal the first batch. Roscoe loves car rides. Windows down, ears flapping, looking like the happiest dog alive. Sometimes the best revenge isn't getting even. It's getting exactly what you wanted while watching the people who tried to stop you lose everything they thought they were entitled to.